All right. Well, happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome to this week's UW System Career Trek featuring Jockey International. Today is hosted by UW Parkside. I, along with my colleague, Linda Bevick, so my name is Renee and Linda Bevick are here hosting you today. A few things before we get started. This is a recording, so I just started the recording moments ago. And you will be able to see the recording later on a website that I will share in the chat when we wrap things up today. So a few things. I already linked the registration form into the chat. I'm going to do that periodically through today's presentation so that if you didn't have a chance to do that, or if someone hops on a little bit later, they'll be able to complete that form. And this helps us assess who was here today. And then if you are trying to get credit for an assignment, this will help with that as well. So a few thank yous. I wanted to thank Linda Bevick for helping us organize today's event. Thank you to the Career Track Committee and UW Oshkosh to help us with the technology. And then also thank you, Tiffany Duran, for being here today. I hope I pronounced your last name right. Please correct me if I didn't, from Jockey International. So again, that registration form will be popped in the chat periodically through today's presentation. This is the website to view the recordings. And the next track will be featuring KI, hosted by UW Green Bay. And so this is the second year that we're doing these virtual career tracks with the 13 schools in the UW system. So we're very excited to offer students an opportunity to see what employers have to offer right here in their own state of Wisconsin. So again, next week, we're hosting the final career track, or UW Green Bay is hosting the final career track featuring KI. Okay. So with that, I'll stop sharing, Tiffany, and give you the microphone. And again, for those who just joined, I'll throw in the registration form. And if you do have any questions, I forgot to mention, if you have questions for Tiffany, please put them in the chat. Linda is monitoring the chat, so she will ask your question at the end of today's presentation. All right, I'm stopping the share screen, Tiffany, and then you are good to go.
All right. Okay, so thank you very much for having me today. I hope everybody can hear me. If you can't, let me know. I am Tiffany Duran. I am the community outreach recruiter here at Jockey. And I just want to share a little bit about Jockey, our company, who we are, what we do, our culture, those type of things, our internships that we have available here. We have several internship opportunities that are coming soon, and we're extremely excited about those and to share those with you. Some of you I may have met last week at the event that was at Carthage. I know there was a lot of UW Parkside students there as well. And I had an opportunity to talk to some of you. So we'll get to those. I'll give you an opportunity to ask any questions you might have about those at the end. But with that being said, I'll move on to here. So this is me. Hi, I'm Tiffany Duran. We here at Jockey, our corporate office is located in Kenosha. We do also have a smaller corporate office out in New York, and that does consist of mostly our design team. There are some wholesale opportunities in that office as well. It's also where we have our showroom and allow for merchandisers to come on site and look at our product. Some of our wholesale sellers come on site to look at that product. But the really cool thing that we do in that New York office is fit models get to come on site. So we have people that are contracted or work for the company who come on just specifically to try clothes on for us, see how they fit, take some measurements, make some changes, so that we can make sure that our products are perfect once they hit the shelf. Jockey has several different opportunities. So our most commonly known is our D2C or direct to consumer opportunity. And that is our retail stores, along with catalogs and our e-commerce business as well. We have stores all across the US. I think we're currently at about 93 stores that we have all over the US. Our newest store is in Colorado. And if you ever have an opportunity to travel out to Denver, it is different than most of the other stores in that Colorado actually requires us to use sustainable goods. So we have more recycled shelf products, more recycled shirts and shorts, pants, all kinds of different pieces that are of those material. They require special faucets and toilets and so on and so forth. So it's kind of a cool store, just something neat to see. So stop by, shop with us if you ever travel out to Denver. Outside of our D2C business, we also have our wholesale partnerships. And that is where, as you shop through Macy's or Kohl's, even Target and Walmart, you will see Jockey product. And that product is sold and created specifically for those stores. So, and they purchase, again, on a wholesale partnership, on an ongoing basis. And then the third realm of our business is our international business. So we truly are an international company. As I said, we have an office in Germany, an office in Hong Kong, and then there's licensees all throughout the entire globe. And we are registered, manufacture, and sell in more than 140 countries around the world. Here at Jockey, we like to talk about what we do out in the community. So one of those things, as most of you may know, we have partnered with Parkside to do some sponsorship of all of your sporting. So you see everybody walking around with their Jockey Parkside jackets or sweats or so on and so forth. But we also sponsor the Pac-12. We do sponsorships with the Milwaukee Bucks, the Kenosha Kingfish. In the past, have done with the Blackhawks. We are currently still we just signed a long-term sponsorship opportunity with NASCAR. So there's lots of different realms that Jockey is in. This year, and we had our first opportunity to have a sports marketing intern, which was a very exciting opportunity. And we had, I think, about 90 people that applied for that internship, which is amazing. And obviously we only got to select one person, but as sports are a part of the Jockey heart, I think that this internship is something that will stay around for a long time. So really exciting opportunity. One talking point on that is if an internship looks great to you, don't wait to apply for it. Please put your application in right away so you can be considered. All throughout Jockey, we have a lot of different versatile departments. So we range everywhere from merchandising to IT, accounting, retail management, data science. My favorite, human resources, our design, marketing, e-commerce, again, that international division, and packaging. Within inside of there, there's even more. So what we don't talk about is web development. We don't talk about graphic design on the top. That's all part of a larger e-commerce division. Accounting includes more than just accounting. You have your financial portion of it. You have an audit portion of it. So there's all these different departments that are within inside of departments. And most of them that you see up here on the screen right now have or had internships open for this year. So we are growing our internship program here at Jockey to make more room for growth and development. So here I talk about some of the internships that we currently have available. We have a web development internship, and all of these that are listed that say summer 2022 and beyond is because the goal at Jockey is to bring somebody in to fill that internship role and grow and develop you throughout your entire graduation year. So we want to make sure that not only are you learning at school, but you're also learning how to develop those needs and those skills well beyond what you're learning in school. And the end goal is always to develop you to that point where after graduation, you're able to come on as a full-time regular Jockey employee. We've had some pretty good success in doing that. And I think with the revamp of our internship program and some of the events that we have coming, I'm hoping that we're going to have an even higher success on that. So in addition to those that you see available here, we do have 3 more internships that have since come available and will be posted and available very soon. So if you see something that's exciting, ask me about it. I'm happy to tell you about it. Otherwise, I generally post all of our internships out on the Handshake platform, but the Jockey careers site is always the best place to find all of our available internships. It's the first place that they go, and beyond that, it is going to be where they feed off into Handshake. But if I have an internship, for instance, that sports marketing internship was a great learning experience, even for myself, where we're going to have an excessive amount of candidates, I tend to not put it on Handshake, just so that we can get the people that are most interested in that opportunity through that pipeline first. And if we're having a harder time filling it, then we'll go out to Handshake. So with that being said, I'd love to open up the floor and answer any questions that any of you may have about the internships, Jockey, the company, anything of that nature.
Thank you so much, Tiffany. I encourage you to use the chat to ask your questions, but and it looks like one is coming through. So this person is doing a master's in computer science and would like to apply for the web development internship. Can you describe that process?
Absolutely. So I will tell you that right now, the process is to go out to that Jockey Careers website and search for that web developer internship, and then you go ahead and apply. Once those applications come in, I generally do a touch base with the candidates that we decide are most appropriate to fill that role, and ask some questions about what specifically interests you about this internship, what kind of classes you're taking that you think would apply to that internship. I'm going to ask and make sure that you can, for certain internships, be available on site on a daily basis, and that you want to continue to grow with the company post-graduation. I also love to ask what your friends would think about you. So a lot of people go, oh, I never really think about that, but it's a great question. It's a great opportunity for you to do a little bit of self-reflection. So that's why we ask that. And then if in fact we decide after that conversation that you are acceptable and ready to move on to that next step in the interview process, you would spend about 30 minutes with that hiring manager, talking about some of the same questions, some more role-specific questions. And if they decide that you are that candidate, then we move into that offer phase. So we are flexible on start times. So if school ends for you May 1st, we may talk about starting then. School ends for you June 1st, we'll talk about starting then, so on and so forth. But that's the basics of what that would look like. And yes,
thank you, Tiffany. Oh, and are you watching the chat too?
yeah, I just pulled it up. So yes, you can apply directly on that careers page.
And it looks like we have a question right above that, the MBA in data analytics.
I'm doing an MBA in data analytics and wanted to know if there are any opportunities. So there is a data analytics position that is open right now, but that is a regular full-time role. So I don't know how that would apply to your school schedule, but if you have some flexibility in your school schedule, I would urge you to go look at it and see if that's something that you're interested in.
Great question. Tiffany, I have one.
Yeah,
So I for those who aren't familiar with Jockey, and I'm very lucky to have worked with Jockey for years, but could you describe the company culture?
absolutely. So one of my favorite things to talk about at Jockey is whenever we have a company event, um, our vice president gets up and he talks about, everything that we already know, but he always says, one of the things that makes us different from other places is that no matter where we are or what we're doing, we're always better together. Jockey's truly a family. We are not just here in our office in Kenosha, but in all of our offices all throughout the entire world. We come together in the worst times and the best times. It's a company where when you walk the halls, you can feel that family unit. Right before Christmas last year, we closed the entire week between Christmas and New Year's. And so there's not a lot of staff on site leading up to those days. And there was a day where I think there was probably 20 people in the building and you could hear this voice echoing throughout the hallway. And I turn around and look, and there's Mark, who is our vice president, and he's walking around with this bag of frozen Reese's peanut butter cups, and he's tossing them out, telling everybody have a great holiday, throwing up high fives, just keeping that excitement alive. He's out of his office, he's part of the community, and being a part of our family structure. This is the kind of company that when we find somebody that we want to bring in that we think is a great culture fit for us, we all come together as a team, answer those questions, help that person through the process, make sure that they have an opportunity to meet our staff and the people that they're going to work with before you come into an opportunity that you don't really know much about. Family starts from the top here, and our CEO, who is Deborah Waller, she's here. She works with us every day. Her two daughters and her son, their spouses, they're all a part of our family here at Jockey. Deborah took her role from her mom, and her mother took her role on from her mother. So we breed and bleed family in the walls of Jockey. It's a fun place to learn. It's a fun place to grow. And it's definitely a place where there is an enormous amount of opportunity.
That sounds like a lot of fun, Tiffany. The frozen Reese's peanut butter cups, why not?
Yeah. It's the way to my heart.
Right. Continue using the chat, everyone. I do have a follow-up question. Well, it's kind of unrelated, but students can get involved by, applying for these internships. But for students who are still exploring and early in their college career, how can they connect with Jockey? How can they get to know the company?
So you definitely can connect with Jockey out on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram. You can connect with me directly. I'm more than happy to do that. I am also the internship program manager, so a great place to connect, again, through LinkedIn, just to kind of keep an eye out on what our internship program is going to be doing and how we're going to grow and those new opportunities that will be coming with the revamp of that program. We also have a young professionals group that is mostly made up of recent graduates that have come on to the company, that try to get out into the community and be a part of those events. So that's another way that you can connect with us. But you will also see Jockey out in the community quite often. So we have a foundation here called Jockey Being Family. And we always have events going on for that. So if you're looking for somewhere to volunteer, somewhere to help out, that would also at the same time give you an opportunity to connect with employees within Jockey. All of our Jockey Being Family events are a great way to do that as well.
Thank you, Tiffany. There's one more question in the chat. I don't know if you're looking at it.
Yes.
Wonderful.
So right now at this point in time, we do not do sponsorship for visas. something that we are looking into maybe for the future, but currently we do not offer sponsorship.
Thank you, Tiffany.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Linda, I know you're here too, and I want to open it up to you. It looks like, oh, she does have a question. I will let you read that, Tiffany.
All right. So what type of academic majors we see most at Jockey? So here's what I will share with you. I see a very, very diverse amount of majors. One of the really fun things about working at Jockey is that we are inclusive of everybody. So if you come into, we'll just say, a merchandising role, and you have the skills and the strength and the desire to learn, but you have a history degree, that's okay. We're okay with that. It's more about real life experience than it is about the major. So if I had to say what kind of majors I see most often, I would probably say it's something related to computer science, design, just in its nature. I do have quite a few people that have majored in communications, and that has been applied through all different levels of the company. I just recently hired somebody with a history degree, so that's available too. I wouldn't say outside of the design degrees, just because of the nature of our business, I don't know that there is any other major where I see it more prominently than the next one, if that makes sense.
It does. And on that same note, what for individuals with majors that on paper they may have to describe a little bit more about regarding those transferable skills. When you're looking at a resume, what things are you looking for? What should they keep in mind when they're crafting their application?
So I think transferable skills is a big thing. I personally, I don't have a degree, so all of my experiences are self-taught. I've learned everything from day one, beginning in a role that was nothing like what I'm doing here at Jockey. So experience is important. Talking about how your experience is applicable to the role that you are doing or looking to do is very important. I think probably the most important thing that I look at as I'm going through internships or I'm trying to fill roles at any level is going to be not only that experience, but showing that you're able to take what your job is, what your future desires are. So for instance, if you wanted to apply to be a graphic designer, but you do not have a degree in graphic design, I want to see that you are doing something that is allowing you to gain experience in your role. So if you are working on your own personal projects, as I talk to people that are interested in our web developer internship, I ask all the time, what kind of projects do you work on outside of school related to your degree or related to your field? So why you want to find a way to speak to why your experiences are a good fit to our role. So I also look at not necessarily length of time, but if you can tie together what you are doing. So for instance, if I see that at pre-graduation, you've had 15 different jobs and they've all been in different fields, and all of them are for a 2 to 4 month period, it raises a little bit of a red flag on whether or not you're committed to a role. But if you can explain to me why that is, because you worked at job number 1 to gain X experience, and job number 2 because somebody there came and found you and thought you were really good at something you were doing, and now you've gained this amount of experience, or those were micro internships or summer opportunities or so on and so forth. Those are all great things to be able to talk to and tie into. I also, especially for internships, I like to look at volunteer opportunities. So what are you doing with your time outside of school that shows me that you have the drive to continue with your education and also to further your skills?
Thank you, Tiffany. I think we have one more question in the chat regarding OPT and CPT.
Yes, and again, right now, no, that we do not.
Well, thank you so much, Tiffany. I know we're coming up on 12:30 and there was some great questions, and thank you for the presentation. I welcome anybody to ask any lasting questions that may be on your mind. Otherwise, like Tiffany said, please make sure you connect with Jockey on LinkedIn. That is a great way to follow what's going on with Jockey, and then connect with individuals who might be working in the fields that you're working in. Anything else, Tiffany? Did you want to say anything else before we close out today?
The only other thing that I would say is if there's ever an opportunity, if you're part of a group, a sorority, a fraternity, so on and so forth, where you are looking for speakers to come and talk to those groups about opportunities that might be interesting to you, or why Jockey could be a potential employer of choice for you, always feel free to reach out to me. There's several different people all throughout the company that are Parkside alums and would love to come and share their experiences with you.
That's great. Thank you so much for the offer, Tiffany. And thank you for being here today and presenting and showing us what Jockey has to offer. They're a great company, so I encourage everyone on the call to check them out. And thank you. Some more thank yous for individuals, for the Career Trek Committee, for all of your hard work. Thank you, Linda, for putting everything together. This recording will be made available shortly, again, on the website. I believe it's still hosted by River Falls. You can check that out. For Parkside students, we'll put that, the recording on our website as well. And then again, make sure you tune in next week, featuring KI, hosted by UW Green Bay. And if you have any questions about that event, make sure you hop on a handshake and reach out to their contact person. I will stop the recording and hang out if anybody has any questions. And I wish you all a wonderful day.